Welcome everyone, I'm Alison with Continental Bead Suppliers. Dancing Strands earrings fall from your ears in a fluid line, punctuated by your choice of a 6mm bead. You could go from casual to dress up in the blink of an eye. Our gorgeous beading chain is more often used for necklaces and bracelets, but who says it can't be used for earrings? Let's begin. For Dancing Strands earrings, we're going to be using 2 hammered connectors. The part number is K6. These are actually identical, so for just a little detail, when we go to connect these pieces together, I'm going to be turning one of them around, and that'll give us a little varied look for the earrings. 6 inches of the beading chain. The part number is CH-2350, and I've cut this into 2 3-inch lengths. 2 fold over 1mm cord and chain ends. The part number is CRL1. 2 4mm 21 gauge jump rings. The part number is JR4. 2 hammered French ear wires. The part number is EW5003. 6 2x2mm crimp tubes. The part number is CRTB2. 6 6mm beads of your choice. I'm using a Terra agate here. 1 crimping plier, 2 pairs of flatnose pliers, and 1 flush cutter, a ruler, and a marker. All the links for this will be listed below, so be sure to check those out. The first thing we're going to be doing is attaching these little crimp ends to the beading chain here. So I found that the easiest way to do this is to place the beading chain into the fold over crimp. So you can see, hopefully you can see this, it's a sort of a U-shaped opening here. So we'll place one end into the crimp, and I'm just going to extend the chain almost to where the loop of the end starts, and I'm going to just catch that with one of my flat nose pliers just to hold it into place. It's just easier to keep track of everything. So you can see I just have the chain in there. I'm going to take the other flat nose plier and bring one side of this down. Like that. Nice and snug. And then bring the other side over. Make sure that's just a little fiddly. I've got that the wrong way around there. Just draw this down so it's nice and snug around the beading chain. Just take your time with this. And you can see that that's caught there. Now there's actually, I don't know if you can see this, there's a little bit of chain that's still sticking out here, so we're just going to trim that off with the flush cutter. Just make sure that you don't cut the loop as well. Like that. And then we'll do the other one. I'm actually going to change glasses up here because it's a little bit tricky to see this fine detail. So let's do the other one here. So we'll pop this back in. Just use my pliers to hold it in place. Like that. Again, fold one side down first, just fold it over gently. Make sure it's connected with the beading chain. And just bring the other side over. There we go. And once again, trim off this little bit of chain that's extended through there. Just make sure that you don't catch the loop as well. There we go. So we've got our 2 pieces here now. So let's just move that to the side. So the next thing that we're going to do is to take some measurements along here using the marker and the ruler. Just a tiny little dot with the marker to see where the crimp tubes are going to go. So I'm placing the ruler here with the 3-inch mark at the end of the chain, and then I'm going to measure up 1 inch and make a mark with the marker here onto the chain. You may have to reset this a couple of times. You can just see that little black mark there. Then at a 1/2 inch increment, heading back up this way, I'm going to make another mark. And then another 1/2 inch increment will be at the 1 inch mark here. And this is just to let me know where the crimp tubes are going to be placed so that we have some even placing. So there you can see the little marks there. So the next thing that we're going to do is to take one of these chains, and we will thread on one of the beads. And a crimp tube. So it goes all the way to the end there, and one of the crimp tubes. Take the crimping pliers. I just have to see where my mark is again. Here it is. It's a little tricky with this light, excuse me just a minute. Here we go. So if you're not sure how crimping pliers work, you can see that there's 2 holes on the crimping plier here. There's sort of a kidney shaped hole, which is right here, and that's going to be my first position. And then there's going to be this oval shaped hole here, which will be the second position to crimp down. So let's place this into the crimping plier. And the trick really, these crimping pliers are made for this size tube. So there should be nothing of the crimp sticking out on either side of the plier. So I just want to confirm my placing again. So I'm just over that little mark I made. I'm going to squish down so you can perhaps see that it's kind of formed this kidney shape here. So I can't go any further than close. And we're going to turn this over. You can feel it here. You can just kind of check it with your nail and make sure that you have the beading chain caught. So then I'm going to stand these 2 channels that you can see here. I'm going to sort of stand them up like this. This is going to cause, when I use the plier, it's going to cause this to fold down that way. Nice, neat. So you can see here I've got it placed in the plier that way. And again, there's nothing of the tube sticking out on either side. So bring that down, just check it with my nail. And then that stops the little bead from sliding down. So we'll add another bead. And then another crimp tube. Like that. We'll find the mark, here it is. Place it into the plier again. So you can see I'm in that kidney shaped hole first. I've just moved it over to the mark that I had made with the marker, so I'm going to squish that down. Again, check it with my nail to make sure it's in position. Move the crimp around so it's standing up, and squish down again. Make sure, and here we've got 2. So let's get the last bead for this one. Thread this on. The last crimp tube. place the crimp into the plier. And again, there's nothing, it's just a little fiddly, just till you get the hang of it. Squish this down again once it's in position. Check it with your nail. Again, we're sort of standing with the crimp tube on end here. Come down. So here I have this earring done. I'm going to go ahead and do the same for this earring, and I'll be back. I'm going to take one of these 4mm jump rings. See, these ones are connected here. Let's just open one up. Just using the flatnose pliers. Probably need to open this a wee bit more. So I'm going to take one of the strands here and just make sure I know where the front of the piece is. So this is where we are here. And then I'm going to take one of the hammered connectors. Now these are slightly indented on the back. You can see it's got a slight concave aspect to it. So make sure that you also have the front of this piece. Connect it to one of the holes there. Close up the jump rings nicely. Then on this one, because this is the front, we're going to add the ear wire. So again, make sure that you have the front, which is going to be facing the front here. Close that up. Make sure that the little ball stays up out of the way, because otherwise the ear wire will not close properly. It'll become loose quite quickly. So there's the first earring done. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm actually going to turn this around because they're not mirrors of each other. They're exactly the same. I just want a little bit of a difference there. So I'm going to connect my earring to the earring wire to the opposite end of the previous earring that I made. So let's take the jump ring, the 4mm jump ring. Open that up. Again, figure out what the front of which is the front of the piece here. So this is it smooth here. You can't see the seam on the front. So let's put that there. Then we'll take this again. Close that up. It's important to make sure these jump rings are closed properly, because the loop on the cord end, the crimp is very fine. The metal's very fine, so you don't want it to slip out. Let's open this ear wire as well. Again, make sure you've got the front of the piece here. Once again, holding the little ball up out of the way. And close this up. And here we have dancing strands earrings. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video and will give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to receive more great content. You can also find us on our other socials at Instagram and Facebook. We'd love to see you there too. Wherever you connect with us, we're always excited to speak with you and help you grow your business. See you next time.